are very proud, really, because in the Jewish community to have a cinema guy like you, a director like you, and with the Oscar. So we heard what you said, and we wanted to ask you. Your grandparents were survivors of the Holocaust. What did they teach you?
So my grandfather, in the beginning, when he just came to Israel, he didn't want to hear about anything German. He didn't buy German stuff. Like he was like avoiding them and completely think that they are the worst people in the world. But when the Six Day War happened, when Germany gave us weapon and gas masks, he changed his mind. And I think that he became like slowly, like when he became more like older, he taught us to accept the new German, the new generation. He said only he did, and only by dialogue and listening, and I don't say forgiving, but accepting other people, even people that are bad, that they want to be good. We need to give them a chance. And he taught me that it was the DNA of what I grew up in, and that's why when I make films, it's part of my who the thing that I'm doing, and the thing that he taught me. So it was natural for me to go to him and ask him, "What do you think about my next feature, my next short?" And he was really pro that, and I dedicated the film to him as well. I learned from the reaction of people that watch it. I think that it's affect them tremendously, and I see that a lot of people they understand the message. That in the Torah there's a sentence, "Avot achlu boser v'shinei banim tikena," which means our fathers ate bad fruits, and their children teeth will be rotten, which means whatever you teach your kids going to end up biting you in the ass. So I think people understand it's all about education, and it's something that we need to know that we need to go to the younger generation, to those kids, to the teenagers that can still, you can still teach and you can still make, because once you're like 40 or 50, it's too late. You're already you're already like in this mindset. But I think it's all about the new generation. So I think that I met a lot of teenagers now. They're very um, influenced and impacted by this film. So I think it's a good way to get into their hearts and heads.
And you were in a place where there were Jews and Mexican. You some kind. Do you think they are related in terms of hatred?
Yes, I think that Jews and Mexicans are kind of like similar in a way that we're always foreigners in different countries. We meet each other in Los Angeles, we meet each other in different countries, but we feel that we have the same vibe, first of all. It's the same, it's like an unofficial, very warm, very family oriented people. And we are fighting the same racism, especially in America. They hate Mexicans and they hate Jews and they hate African Americans the same way. So I feel we have the same, faith, the same goal, to be with our families, protect our families, and fight racism.
And your film was visionary because after you made it, some things started to happen, like what you explained, the synagogue, all the races started like to. How did you somehow envision that that was something that was going to be a problem?
I did the research before Trump was elected. I did the research for 3, 4 years. So I went to all those places. I went to Ohio, to Indiana. I went to, the Rust Belt of America. And I saw that there's more than one or two or three skinheads, more than, a lot of fascism. And I knew that once Trump will be elected, and I predicted actually that he will be elected. Um, we Yes, because in Israel we went to bed, and Shimon Peres was supposed to be prime minister, and we woke up with Bibi. So I knew that the right wing will take over, And but I knew also that once Trump will be in power, all the backyard of America become the front yard, and they will raise their head and start like doing stuff with no shame.
What do you predict for the next elections in Israel?
Unfortunately, I hope there will be a change because I feel that there's nothing developing with Bibi. I feel that there's nothing good coming out of the regime right now, of the current regime. I really hope that Benny Gantz will be able to establish a government. I believe him. I think he's a good man, and I think that I predict that Trump will be president again. Unfortunately, yes, yes. Unfortunately, I because Bibi is in trouble with the justice. Yeah.
Yes. And do you think justice was served in the movie?
Look, I think that when I showed this film to African Americans, they said, "Yes, yeah, that's the perfect revenge." And I think that there's never like full justice. There's never like perfect justice, but I think it's something that it's about a white racist man who learned what racism is on his own skin. So I think it's the best way to show someone what he is exactly. So I don't know if it's the perfect, redemption. I don't know if it's the perfect revenge, but it's an original one.
Because there is justice and there is revenge. What is the difference?
Well, of course, justice is on the eye of the beholder. Everyone think of a different justice. Um, but for me, it's not about justice. It's about what we learn from it. The message. What is the message of the movie? And the message is, if you teach your kids to be racist and to use guns, it will fire back at you at some point in life. And that's what I want to say. Our kids are like sponge. I have like a year and a half old daughter. Whatever I teach her, it's like a sponge. She's repeating me. She's just like, and the kids, because we are in crazy time period today, it's all about our kids. It's all about the next one, the next generation. And if we keep teaching them to hate and use guns like they use in America, every kid can have a gun today. It's going to be cycle of violence. So for me, this is a message. This is a film about message. And I hope the message came through to the audience.
How does this can be applied to Israel?
Well, Israel is also a very racist country. I mean, the way we treat Ethiopians, the way we treat Russians, the way we treat Arabs, the way we treat the Palestinians. We lock them in Gaza. We lock them in, I feel that Israel is a microcosmos of the states. We have the same problems. We are conquering, occupying another country, another people, and I think there's another way to go. I feel that we need another way to go because we cannot live we cannot live on our guns all our lives. I am a kid in Israel. I had 5-7 wars that I grew up in, and I think that I wish that I went to the army, and it was before I went to the army, there was like the Gulf War, and we had missiles falling on our heads, gas masks, and then there was the Gaza War, and then Lebanon War. We cannot live like that. It's not a way to live.
Do you have another option?
The option is, and I'm quoting Shimon Peres, make peace with your enemies, not your friends. So if we have to talk to the Hamas, we have to talk to the Hamas. If we have to talk to our enemy, Sadat wanted to kill, like vanish Israel. And Sadat, and after the Yom Kippur War, when I was born, Sadat and Begin had the vision and the balls to make peace. And he was our worst enemy. He wanted to destroy us. So I think we need to have two leaders with vision and guts to make this impossible move. I still believe in peace. I still believe that you can reach that, but lock them in Gaza and make them, and conquer them, and controlling 3-4 million people is not a solution. That's my point of view. The solution is to start understanding what they want and start dialogue. I'm not saying it's easy. It might take years, but at least start talking, start communicating. Of course, there are enemies that you cannot talk with. I mean, Nasrallah and Lebanon. I mean, they're extreme. But there are Palestinian people. They want their own country, and they want their freedom. So there is a way. I'm not a politician, but I believe in dialogue.
And have you changed the way you educate your kids?
I have I have a kid that she's still a year and a half. So
What are you going to do? Like, she, to make her not racist, not fascist?
well, I'm going to educate her on what my grandfather educated us, on tolerance, on dialogue, on acceptance. I will take her to the concentration camps in Germany. I want to show her the origin of her family. I want to send her to 1 month in the army in Israel to understand how to live in community. Because American kids are living on they don't care. So for me, she's Israeli, half American, but I want to give her the values that I grew up on.